Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome to our next flight by request. This one's coming to you from a gentleman. I know I'm going to butcher this name, something horrible, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. His name, I think, is Vuk Radovic. I'm pretty sure that I didn't even come close to saying that properly, but anyway, this young man is not eligible to sign up for our virtual airline yet because he's too young. So he wanted to put in a flight request, and I had told him you got to go over to Mac Air Forums and do that. And he said, "Yeah, I'd love to, but I can't. I'm too young, not old enough." And so one of our guys, Robert B, jumped in there and he said, "You know what, man? I'll put it in for you because I am a member." And Robert B also happens to be one of our staff members over there at Mac Air. And so he put in the request for him, which I will absolutely honor 100%, first of all. And second of all, I just want to send a special shout out and thank you to Robert for doing that. Because that's the kind of community that flight simulation is supposed to be, and we just haven't had that for a long time. And so I really appreciate that, Robert. Thank you very much. And to you, Vuk, this one's for you, my friend, and I hope I didn't butcher your name too bad. If I did, I do apologize in advance. So today's flight is going to be from SBFI to SBGL, and I already forgot the names of the airports because I have no idea. They're in South America. That's all I really know. This is an area I have not really done any flying in, but definitely need to get some flying in. Now, we're obviously using the BlackBox A320 today. This is a TAM Airlines flight, but I don't have a TAM Airlines livery for the BlackBox Airbus. So for all you painters out there, why don't you hop on, grab BlackBox's paint kit, and paint us some TAM Airlines. That'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, we don't have it, so we're going to have to fly. Well, we don't have to, but I've chosen to fly the default livery. In addition, we got another new, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Another treat for you, if you will. I am sick and tired of no traffic. So you see there's TAM Airlines over there, and there's another one taxiing down there. In fact, he's turning around, getting ready for his departure. And that is part of this guy right here. Well, come here. No, come here. Oh, it won't move now. It's being a pain. There we go. Ultimate Traffic Live. Now, we're not going to go in depth with all this or anything right now. I may go over this at some point in time, but I'm not going to go over it right now. But anyway, that guy's taking off right now. You can see it's 1828. So let's see. That's on departures. So I don't know which one of these guys that is, but anyway, he's on time and he's taking off. So we could talk more about Ultimate Traffic Live some other time. That's not the purpose here today. I just think it's really cool that I can actually see who's doing what right now. That was a 319, I think. So that's probably the LATAM Airlines Lima, going to Lima, Peru. So anyway, we will have traffic in here now. I do want to make a note real quick that it's my understanding anyway that Ultimate Traffic Live puts the traffic in there based on real-world schedules. Now, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what's going on. So you not only have the paint schemes from a bunch of different airlines in there, but they're moving about on the airports based on their real-world schedules and updated. There he goes, taking off. Updated on whether or not they're on time or running late or whatever. That's my understanding of it. So as it stands right now, or around this time, that aircraft in the real world should be departing. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate or not, but either way, kind of cool. So we should start to see traffic. I've got it set to a maximum, I think, of 300 within a given radius, 50 nautical miles, I think. So we may increase or decrease that depending on how much traffic we're seeing and what kind of frame rates we're getting. All right. That was a long-winded talk about that. I'm done. Introduction's over. Let's hop on the flight deck. Alrighty, folks, here we are on the flight deck, and you can hear all kinds of noise outside because, let me jump back out real quick, I have managed to get GSX working again. Now, it only sort of works because if I hit the little key combination, Control-Shift F12, it will not pop up the menu. The only way I can pop up the menu is to go up here to Add-ons, GSX, and then select this, and then my menu pops up. I don't know why that is, but yeah, they want me to open the aft PAX door. Let me do that real quick. Where are you at? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's hop back in here. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I have to do in order to use it, but it's there now at least, and so I can take use of it. But let's see, aft PAX door. I guess that's the one they want there. There we go. Now we're loading them. Fantastic. Let me throw this in cinematic mode for just a minute here. Oh, that's great. We get a view of the building. Fantastic. Anyway, the point is I've messed with it for quite a bit, and it's been driving me nuts because, you know, I like being able to use GSX, and so finally we're able to use GSX. So that's fantastic. I'm excited about that, and I hope that you guys are too. And you can see we're starting to load packs there, and everything's good to go. So back to the flight deck then. Hey, let's drive right through each other. That makes perfect sense. Jeez Louise. Anyway, back on the flight deck here, you can see we've already got power on the aircraft. That is ground power. We're not using the APU yet. I do need to pull up my checklist over here. There we go. So let's see what we got here. Cockpit safety inspection, that's already been taken care of. I probably popped that up already. And then you've got the battery 1 and 2 are on. Voltage is checked. Battery 1 and 2, blah, blah, blah. Preliminary cockpit preparation. External power is on. We're not starting the APU yet. ECAM is on. APU master switch is not on. APU start is not done. We're still on external power. We checked flaps position, speed brake. We did recall, hydraulics, all of that stuff. I'm just trying to find where we're at on the checklist here. Flight director, ILS. Okay, so that's pretty much where we're at. So we can jump in here. And of course, what I haven't done yet is the FMCG or MCDU, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So, why do you say we start planning our flight? It's SBFI. I gotta find the S. There we go. SBFI, and then don't forget your slash in there, and then it's SBGL. Now, I just want to throw out there that if for some reason SBGL is the wrong airport, it's because Rob put it in there wrong. So, anyway, there it is. Align the IRS. Bam. And now we have nav accuracy upgrade. We're going to go with flight number 2336. Even though we are flying a Mac Air flight, I just don't feel like looking at the flight number right now because I'm lazy. 85 on the cost index, as always. And then flight level 370. That's what we're calling for today. Jumping over here, we've already done our pre-flight manager. So I don't even have that open anymore. We'll go with our zero fuel weight and our block fuel by right-clicking both of those. Boom, done, just like that. Now we got to take care of the flight plan itself. So SBFI is already in there. Then it's flight plan discontinuity. It's got our speed stuff, top of climb, top of descent. Click on SFB or SBFI. Click on departure. And let's see, the wind is... I'm an idiot. I didn't write it down. See, this is why I have to write it down, you guys, because I will forget. SBFI wind is 100 at 5 knots. Where are you? Now my pen doesn't want to work. It's just one thing and then another, right? 100 at 5 knots. 2977. Now I know somebody made a comment already. 2977 on the altimeter, 22 degrees Celsius. Somebody made a comment already. They said, well, I mean not already, but somebody made a comment on one of my videos and said, hey, you know, when you're everywhere but the United States, you're supposed to use hectopascals, right, instead of inches of mercury for your barometric setting. I know that's the way they do it everywhere else in the world, but my brain functions on U.S. whatever, on you know, on the what's the word I'm looking for, on measurements and stuff like that we use here in the U.S. You know, feet versus instead of meters, and you know, feet and inches instead of meters, inches of mercury instead of hectopascals, and so on. So for now, I'm going to stick with inches of mercury, but I may make the switch at some point and try to be a little more accurate by doing hectopascals. There's another term for it, but anyway, hectopascals is what it is. I might try to switch over and use that when I'm flying outside of the U.S. No promises. I'll consider it. All right. Anyway, moving on. So it looks like it's going to be runway 14 for us. Which is kind of going to stink because our departure is actually supposed to be for runway 32. And it doesn't look... Oh, there is an option for runway 14. Don't mind me. Let me just switch those up here real quick. So I was looking at the departure Camille? Probably Camille 1A for runway 32, but we're actually going to be taking runway 14. So 14, and then it is Camille 1A. There we go. And then we could transition at... Nope, there is no transition. What am I talking about? Insert. Boom. Done. Well, done with that part anyway. Now remember, we could go in here and we could enter our arrival, but then I always end up having issues for some reason where it wants to double enter it. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just not going to mess with it. But we do have more flight plan to put in there, so let's go ahead and take care of that. So Camille 1A out to Camille, and then it's UM548 to Coxag. That's an interesting one. So remember, if you want to put in flight plan in here, by the way, I probably didn't mention it already, but I guarantee it popped up at some point. There is a full flight tutorial on this aircraft, right? But I did not cover how to put in waypoints. I talked about it, but we didn't have any to put in when we did that tutorial. So here you go. Click on the waypoint you're leaving, right? In this case, Camille. Type in UM548 or whatever your appropriate airway is. UM548 slash, and then our next waypoint is Coxag, K-O-X-A-G. AG, and then put it in there. That's your via, and then 2, and then you could keep going. Like I could go down here to Coxag, and I could click on that one to do it again. I like to insert it. It just gives me a warm and fuzzy about it. See, there's a lot of waypoints in there, right, on UM548. So by doing that, we don't have to put all those waypoints in there, which is nice. And then from Coxag, it is UM400, UM400, again, slash, to Colby, K-O-L-B-I. Here we go. Put that in there, insert, and then again, so you'll see from Coxag, there's Coxag, then you've got Gesbo, and, well, there's only 2, excuse me, only 2 in there, so, and then from there, it'll be on to our arrival, which we're not going to put in yet. So I'm going to leave that flight plan discontinuity in there for now. I'm not worried about it. Let's jump over to our performance page. All right, so flap setting for us is going to be, ooh, wait a minute. Did I miss something? I did. I didn't miss something. I just forgot something. Watch this. Bam, let me pull that up over there. I forgot on my manager, on my pre-flight manager, to grab my, oh boy. Now that means I got to redo it. Where'd it go? Come here. There it is. I forgot to grab my, whatchamacallit? Oh, come on. For crying out loud. My trim setting. There it is. Trim setting. Goodness gracious. That's ridiculous. Okay, let me throw the packs in there real quick. What was the cargo again? Cargo was 12,460. Let me put that in. This will just take just a second. Here, let me show it to you. I mean, since I'm doing it on video anyway, right? So I put my packs in. There's my cargo right there. And then we got fuel, right? How much fuel do we need? You go to your dispatch. I mean, we've shown this. We showed this in the full flight tutorial as well. But this is how you set this thing up, right? And well, hold on. Just this is how you set it up. So to get our fuel, we go SBFI, right? And then we're going to SBGL. So we put those in there. Our first alternate is SBAF. Put that in there. Cruise altitude is 370. Oh, wow. That was wrong. 370. There we go. APU time for us probably be 10 minutes. Taxi time 10 minutes. Hold time 30 minutes. Trip reserves is going to be 5%. Put all that in there. Calculate fuel. It's 14,400 pounds, which I think is about what we have in there, right? It's not showing the fuel right there. Anyway, that's fine. We'll send it in there. And then go back to payload. Fuel. So that's your block fuel. 14,400 pounds. Go to the fuel page. Type it in right here. 14,400. And then hit enter. Bam. And it tells you where your fuel is going to be. But more importantly, what we need is this. 0.4 down. That's what I needed. I'm not going to... Normally, you would connect this and then send it to the sim. I've already done that. So I'm not going to do that right now. This is what I needed, though. 0.4 down. DN, right? Okay, we can close that out now. Bam. Off you go. So it's going to be flaps 1. And it's going to be down 0.4. I think you can do it that way, right? Bam, down 0.4. That's what I needed. You got to remember to get that from your pre-flight manager, all right? I don't think we're going to do a flex temp on this one. We got a pretty short runway anyway. We're just going to go with what we got. What else we need? That should be it. So right-click each of these. Yeah, see, we got some pretty high V speeds too, so probably a good idea we're not doing flex temp on this one. I'm probably wrong about that, but it is what it is. We can change our thrust reduction or acceleration height if we want to. I'm just going to leave them at what it's got there for default, and I think we're pretty much good to go. And that takes care of everything, right? Initialization is done. Flight plan's done for now. We do still need to add in the arrival, but we'll do that once we get up to cruise. So I think we're good to go. So we're going to stay on this page for our departure here. What do we got? 141 is V2. Okay. We're not going to put that in here. I'm just noting it. We want to make sure these are dashed lines. These are dashed lines. Scroll this guy. Actually, let's do this first. Put it at 1,000. Let me see here real quick. I am not seeing altitude restrictions, glancing at this departure. So I think we're probably good to go straight up to 37,000. There we go, 37,000. Flight directors are both on already. What else we got here? We want to make sure the anti-skid nose wheel steering is off. Let me pop up the list over here. Barrel reference needs to be set. We are at 2977. So let's set that. Remember, you got to set both sides on this one. You can't just set one. You got to set them both. There we go, 2977. What else we got on here? Speed Mach dashed. Those are good. We already checked that. Altitude is set. Initial expected clearance. And what's our initial departure heading? Is 146 degrees. Let's put that in here as well. Wow, I can't seem to get the mouse where I want it, huh? It's gonna take a minute, guys. That's one thing. That's one of those things I do dislike about this aircraft. It takes a while to scroll these wheels, but it is what it is. Wow, that is like a lot of scrolling. 146. There we go, 146 degrees. What else we got on here? All of that's good. Clock's good. Anti-skid, nose wheel steering, we already did that. Radio control panels, good. Comm frequencies are good. Thrust levers, check that they're in the idle position. They are not. See, they randomly pop up sometimes on me. I don't know why. Let's see, engine master switch is off. Engine mode selector is normal. So these are the master switches. I messed that up royally. And then this is the mode switch, which is normal, the 12 o'clock position. There's transponder goes on standby. Let's just zip over here real quick, change our transponder code. Hit clear, 2336. Put it over here on standby. That's where it belongs. And the parking brake is set. You can't tell because that's in the, well, you can. It's over there. But anyway, parking brake is set. I have no idea how I managed to just click that. What else we got here? External lights, strobe is auto, it says. I don't know. Beacon off. Beacon's actually going to go on here because we're about to start the APU. Let's go ahead and start the APU now. Let's turn the beacon on, master switch, and start switch, and let the APU start spinning up. Strobe can go to auto. Wing lights, nav, and logo lights can come on. We don't need any of these guys on yet. We already tested. Let's see, its emergency exit lights are armed now. That's how you test your annunciator lights, in case you maybe forgot how to do that. And what else? No smoking, fasten seatbelt signs. There we go, looking fantastic so far. Of course, you guys seen the checklist, so it's no big deal. So, cockpit crew checklist, pre-flight briefing, sort of performed. We'll talk more about that when we taxi out. Cabin signs are on, fuel quantity is set and checked, takeoff data is inserted, altimeter is checked and set. Fantastic. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to our before start / pushback procedures. ATC clearance has already been obtained. Windows and doors need to be closed and locked. Are we done loading packs? I think we are, right? So let me pull up GSX here. It kind of sucks that I have to do it this way, but it's better than not having it at all, right? Baggage loading is still in progress. Really? Wow. Let's hop outside for a second. It's like they got stuck or something, isn't it? Like he's not doing anything. It's kind of obnoxious. Let's see if we can get him to prepare for pushback and departure. Might have to reset him. Yeah, it's probably requested it now, is my guess. Yeah, departure clearance requested, waiting for other services to complete. It looks like they got stuck, so let's reset position. There we go, bam. They all go away. It's kind of obnoxious, but it is what it is because we're pretty much ready. So what else we got here? Windows and doors need to be closed and locked. Let's go and take care of that down here. Go to menu, configuration, doors, close, close, next page, close, close. Fantastic. Those will all close up. Back over here. And then you can see on our doors page here, it's showing everything closing up, which is the way it should be. So once that door is closed there, what else we got? Start and pushback clearance. We've already got that. We'll actually technically get that from our GSX here shortly. Thrust levers are in the idle position. Parking brake as required. Beacon is on. Transponder will stay as is for now. APU bleed on, and then we'll do the before start checklist. So APU is up and running now. It's on and running. So let's turn the APU bleed on. Let's turn the external power off. Fantastic. And APU gen should already be on. If the light's out, then APU gen is on. That means we're pretty much ready to go, folks. I'll be back here in just a second with my track IR on and all that good stuff. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Alright, folks, we're just about ready to rock and roll here, and check this out. Bam! Now that's working too. That's awesome, right? Let's prepare for pushback and departure. We'll use TAM. And we want the nose to go to the right, tail to go to the left. And we will not start engines before pushback. Fantastic. So they're rolling in now. So basically our pushback clearance is coming from them. Let's go ahead and take care of our before start checklist. Windows and doors are closed and locked. Beacon is on. Thrust levers are at idle. And parking brake is currently set until they tell us to push back. So fantastic.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Well, I've got that turned all the way up too, because before you couldn't really hear it anyway. Alright, just waiting on him. Engine start's pretty straightforward, guys. We're gonna move the mode selector to brain's not working. Mode selector over to ignition. This guy here. Click it once, and then literally it's just a matter of flipping the master switch on. Engine 2 is started first, and that has to do with the hydraulics. Somebody did mention that.
Check completed.
It has to do with the yellow hydraulics.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Just making sure that my A-Cars is running. So anyway, he mentioned that it powers the yellow hydraulics, which I forget what they're for, but he is correct. That's why you start with engine number 2. And so we're ready to start, so we'll left click it. And if we did everything properly, it should start up here without any problem. We pop this guy up, and we can see the N2's coming up already, which means we've got our bleed air pressure from the APU, which is fantastic. So the engine should fire up here shortly. And we should actually have a halfway decent or halfway proper pushback, something we haven't had in quite a while. So, sweet. Alright, looking good. Just waiting for the engine to stabilize a little bit. Runway 14 is going to be that end down there, so we need to taxi down and turn around and come back. Now, part of the reason I mentioned that is because of this new live traffic thing I got going on here. Okay, so these are the inbound flights right now, and they're both due, one at 1910 and one at 1940. Well, the one due at 1910 is going to be here. It says he's on time, which means he's going to be here in 15 minutes. So we're either off the runway in 15 minutes, or we are in his way, and he's got to go around, right? Let me set the parking brake here. There we go. So I like that, though. I really like that it tells me who's inbound and whatnot, because now I can, you know, hey, again, I've got 15 minutes to bump my gums and then get out there and get stuff done, and then I'm going to have an aircraft on approach. So that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1 here. So I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm really excited to have, boy, it took him a while to do that, huh? I'm really excited to have the traffic in here right now. I really am.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass main removed.
You know, I just noticed, why is this line connected here? That doesn't really make sense, does it? Let's just take a look at that real quick. So here's our flight plan. We go out to 103 and then out to Camille. Let's zoom that out a little bit. Well, that's our limit there, and then it's out to Camille.
Clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, it looks like it's straight through. I don't see any issues, so I don't know what that other line is for, to be honest with you. It's probably something I should know, but I don't. So it is what it is, guys. Let's put this back over on the performance page, and let's start taking a look at our after start checklist here. So, oh, excuse me. First things first, we got to come up here. APU bleed needs to go off. There we go. Ground spoilers need to be armed. That's shift and tab for me, and then you can tell they're armed. So they pop up, right? So if I shift tab, you see they pop down, back up. That's armed. Rudder trim is 0. Flaps lever, we need to set flaps for takeoff. It's going to be flaps 1. Fantastic. And then we need to set the pitch trim, which was negative or down 0.4, right? So what you got to do, you zip down here, okay? And so this way is up, this way is down, right? So we need to trim it down. There it is, down 0.4, just that little tiny bit. And it's a good thing we got that little pop-up there, otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to tell. We're going to leave the ignition, the mode selector in start until after takeoff. ECAM status has been checked. We're good on that. What else we got here? Engine anti-ice as required. We don't need that. Or wing anti-ice. ECAM door is good. Ground crew clearance. They should be clear now, right? Yep, they're all way over there. That's fantastic. After start checklist, then APU. It says as required. We're going to turn it off. So just click the master switch to turn it off. Fantastic. Anti-ice as required. ECAM status is checked. Flaps are set. Flaps 1. Spoilers are armed. Pitch and rudder trim is set. Hand signal has been received, which means we are ready to rock and roll. Now I'm going to do all my last second checks here real quick. Don't worry, I'll pause it so we don't interfere with the aircraft coming in or anything like that. And then we'll hop back on here and away we go. Alrighty guys, I'm going to turn that Caviar back off for just a second here. We've got our taxi checklist still. Let's take care of that real quick. Taxi clearance is obtained. External lights as required. We want the taxi lights to come on. Let's get a better view here. So click at 1 to go to taxi mode, and then we're good to go on that. Let's see, taxi area is clear. Clock, it says clock set. I don't mess with the clock, I just don't. Parking brake says off. Thrust levers as required. We haven't done the flight controls check yet though, and I want to do that real quick now. Just so that you can, so that we're not doing it at the end of the runway while there's an aircraft on approach, right? So flight controls, full left, and I popped that up so you guys can see it better. Full right, and neutral, and then all the way up. And there's a little delay in those in there. All the way down, and neutral. And you see it shows our pitch trim on there as well. Rudder full left, rudder full right, and neutral. And we'll put that back on the engine page and shrink it down. Let's go ahead and turn our tiller on. There we go. Steering tiller is active. Track IR coming on. Big jump here. There we go. Get this thing out of the way. Brakes off. And away we go. Shift my chair. Oh, it looks like he's on approach now. Check it out, guys. Check him out right there. Right? So he's on approach. Let me pop this up over here. So he's supposed to be here at 1910. That's his gate arrival time, so that makes sense. It's going to take him a few minutes to get in here. So he's on short final there, and that's going to work out perfectly because as long as he doesn't try to come off the runway right here. We're going to find out in a second because we can see him on approach, and we're going to hold short of the runway, which is really cool. So while he's coming in, let's go ahead and take care of the taxi and departure briefing. Alright, quick look at the taxi here then. We are parked over here facing this way, right? So away from the runway right now. And we need to take runway 14. So we're going to have to back taxi on 14, flip a UE down here, and that'll get us lined up for our departure. Now, speaking of departure, let's take a look at the departure briefing. There it is. We are going to be taking the Camel 1A, whatever it is, 1A departure today. And it's pretty straightforward. It's out to FI 003 and then hanging left to Camille and then out to Diadem. And then it gives you the same thing down here. So for Camille 1A at FI 003, turn left to intercept 099 degree course to Camille. I keep wanting to say Camel. We'll call it Camel. Course to Camel, then proceed en route. And for us, of course, we'll hit Diadem and then we'll be on our way from there. Airport elevation 786 feet. Transition altitude at 3,000 feet. Pretty straightforward. Alright guys, we got our lined up here. Let's take care of our before takeoff procedures. Lineup clearance is good. Approach path obviously clear of traffic, though he should be inbound shortly. That was not our 737 coming in, obviously. Transponder needs to go to TARA. Roll it all the way over to the right there real quick. Let's see what else. Takeoff imminent. You announce to the pilot not flying. Engine mode selector, we're going to leave it on ignition. External lights are all set on. Sliding tables are stowed. And that leads us to our before takeoff checklist. Engine mode selector is as required. Packs are on. Takeoff memo is all green. That's these guys down here, which it's not. We need to put auto brakes to max. There we go. And then we need to do the takeoff config test. There we go. Now they're all green, so we're good on all of that. And that takes us to our actual takeoff phase. Thrust levers will go to toga. And then announcing V speeds and all that good stuff. So we're pretty much ready to go. Track hour coming on here. Big jump. There we go. We don't want to be in this guy's way, so let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Bring in some thrust here. There we go. Let the brakes off and go all the way to toga mode. At 80 knots here, our tiller will automatically go off. Coming up on 80 knots now. There we go. Rudder is now active. Whoa, that was an interesting shadow all of a sudden. Gently let the stick come to neutral. Here's V1. Rotate. Pull back gently on the stick. And up, up, and away we go. Well, that was way too far. Come back down, you. Wow, didn't want to come back down at all. Alright, gear up. That came down now, didn't it? Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting there. Okay, speed's coming back up. That's where we want to be. I just pulled too hard on the stick. My apologies. Okay, we take this out to 003, FI 003, and then we'll make that left-hand turn, and away we'll go. We need to climb a little faster, obviously. Let's go ahead and get the flaps up. Follow that flight director. It says to lower it to climb now, so that's, there's flex and there's climb. And now you should see that flight director telling us to bring the nose down a bit, because we don't want to get too slow, obviously. A little bit of turbulence there. Let's bring in, I want to get a little more speed. That flight director's smoking crack in my opinion. Alright, let's get a little bit more speed in there. There we go. Now we're looking good. Okay, we're already past transition level, so let's go ahead and let's set these guys to standard. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go, standard. Now we're getting somewhere. Nose up just a little bit more and start that left-hand turn. There we go, looking good. Not to overshoot it. Not too shabby. And we didn't get in the way of that 737, so that's fantastic. Alright, looking pretty good here, guys. Centered up. Start rolling out here shortly. Nice and easy on the rollout. There we go. Get a little more speed in there. Wants us to get up to about 250. Leveler off. Looking good. Let's go ahead and put the autopilot on here, guys. Fantastic. Let it do the work for us. Now track hour coming off. Fantastic. And let's take a look at this after takeoff checklist. APU bleed needs to go off. We didn't have it on because we turned the APU off anyway. APU master is already off. Engine mode selector, it says as required. We can put that back to normal now. No reason to leave it on ignition. I think we're probably good to go. What else we got here? Engine mode selector. Oh, I just had a hiccup there. Really big one too. Anti-ice protection as required. We don't need it. Seatbelts, they'll stay on. Barrel reference, we've already set that to standard. And that takes us to our after takeoff checklist. Engine mode selector as required. Spoilers disarmed. We haven't done that yet. There we go. Spoilers are now disarmed. Flaps are retracted. Landing gear is up and lights are out. Exterior lights retracted. Not quite yet, but we're coming up on 10,000. So let's go ahead and just do that now. We didn't use the runway turnoff lights, did we? Yeah, we did. I am. There we go. All the exterior lights off except the ones that obviously need to stay on.
10,000.
Is that beacon on? There's 10,000. Fantastic. It should start to accelerate now. What else we got here? Packs on. We never turn them off. I don't know why it says packs on. So when you look at the checklist for takeoff, it says, I'm just looking here real quick. It's before takeoff checklist, right? It says packs on. And then you come down here to the after takeoff checklist and it says packs on. So I know you can do a takeoff with packs off, so maybe that's why. But anyway, altimeter is set to standard, and that means, ladies and gentlemen, finally it is time for some of that obligatory elevator music. Alright, I don't really know why, but for some reason I had to put in all these waypoints myself. The Ropus 1A arrival was not in the system for whatever reason, for the aircraft. So I don't know. It should have been updated via Navigraph, but it is what it is. So we're going to come in out here at Colby, then to Ropus, down to Iltit, hang a left there down to Kabuk, Kudzi, and then from there to Vuzra, and then Dongi. And then from there we'll transition over to our arrival. ATIS is on 127.6, airport elevation at 28 feet, transition altitude is 7,000 feet. Pretty straightforward, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alrighty folks, as you can see, we're going to be on our top of the descent here pretty quick, so we need to take care of our descent preparation. First things first, let's go ahead and scroll this down to 3,200. There's 3,000, and then we'll bring it up. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Bring it up 2 more. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, we've got that done. Let's take a look at our... I'm taking a look at my descent preparation list here. Landing information has been received. Altimeters, we're not going to preset those. Transition altitude isn't until 7,000 feet anyway. We do need to set up the FMGS. That's this guy here. If you go to your performance page... Go next phase, there's the approach phase, put in your QNH, we've got it set at 29 or 85, I already had that discussion about the difference between that and hectopascals, that's what I'm going with for now. Runway is going to be 28, we've already selected that, I'll show you how here in just a second. Put in your wind, Transition altitude is already correct, and then I put in the temperature. Now as far as the arrival goes, you click on SBGL down here, select your runway, select your arrival, and so on. We've seen that before, you know, a dozen times, so I'm not too worried about that. Alright, where are we at here? So we want to start initiating the descent about 5 nautical miles from the point of that arrow. So we need to get ready for that here shortly. Nav radios need to be set as well. I'll pop that up for you real quick. If you click on radio nav here, make sure you have the proper ILS frequency and course input. Note that the course is probably, it does it automatically, and it's probably going to be off a little bit anyway by 1 or 2 degrees, because a current chart is going to show a different direct heading than, or course direction than this one is. And in fact it's 277 in the real world right now. Anyway, okay, we got the point. Let's go ahead and initiate the descent. There she goes, down we go. What else we got here? Minimum safe altitudes have been noted. Approach briefings will be taken care of here shortly. Company messages we're not worried about, and that takes us to the descent checklist. Approach and landing briefing about to be performed. Minimum safe altitudes are checked. Landing elevation is 28 feet. Altimeters will be set. They're standard right now. They'll be set once we get below 7,000 feet. So let's take care of that approach briefing, and then why not have a little bit of cinematic in there, just because I'm starting to really like that. Okay, it's going to be the ILS runway 28 approach for us today. ATIS is on 127.6 with Rio control on a whole host of frequencies. I don't know which one they'd have us on, but we'll pick one, 119 or 0.35, and then off we go. The tower is going to be on 118.0 or 0.2, and then ground on 121.35 or 0.65. Localizer frequency is 111.5 with a final approach course of 276 degrees. It's 277 on here because this chart is more up to date than P3D's airports really are. So it'll be 276 for us. Glide slope intercept at GL 142 at 1630 feet MSL or 1602 feet AGL. ILS decision altitude 245 feet for us today. Again, airport elevation and runway elevation are both at 28 feet. Missed approach, climb to 6,000 feet, maintain 277 degrees to NSAR, then turn right for holding at IVTOL with a max indicated airspeed of 220 knots. And you can see how all that looks on here. Now, when we come in off our arrival, we're going to go ahead and hit IVTOL at 6,000 feet and then scoot down here to Setbu and then hang right down to Lixug, GL081, GL142. Now, I know 6,000 is not the altitude we should really be here, because that would be the holding altitude that they would be using for missed approaches. So I may change, well, I know I'm not going to change that because I didn't, and I'm recording this after the fact. So my bad, we should have chosen a different altitude for IVTOL, but it is what it is. Profile view shows 3,200 at Lixug, down to GL081, 2,000 feet, and then intercepting the glide slope at 1,600 feet around GL142. There's our missed approach information. ILS decision altitude 245 feet, runway visual range minimum 700 meters, and visibility 800 meters. So that's what we need to be able to land here, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Alrighty folks, we're sort of on our downwind leg here, getting into the approach. Let's go take care of this descent / approach procedure. MCDU is set, anti-ice as required, we don't need it. Speed brakes, I've not armed them yet because we've had to use them to slow down the aircraft a few times here, so I'm hoping to remember to arm them here shortly. Nav accuracy is good, positioning is good, barrel reference is good. Landing lights are on, cabin signs are on, cabin is secure for landing, engine mode selector, we'll turn that to ignition. There we go. What else we got here? Landing data, review, that's all been taken care of. That's down here, so we can activate the approach phase now if we want, but I'm actually going to wait until we make this turn around here. But once we activate the approach phase, then that'll activate all of this, and it'll slow us down and all that good stuff. So I don't think I covered that in the full flight tutorial, so that's my bad there. But anyway, moving on. Nav aids are good, approach phase monitor, blah blah blah. And the approach checklist then. ECAM status has been checked, cabin signs are on, decision height or MDA has been set. That is down here in the MCDU. So again, over here on the approach phase, we put the MDA at 245. Fantastic. What else we got here? Altimeters are set. V-bugs are set. We don't do anything with V-bugs. I don't even know what it means by V-bugs, to be honest with you. I'm a little confused by that. Big surprise, I'm confused, right? Engine mode selector as required. We've got it on ignition. And then that will take us to our final approach checklist, which really is kind of hard to do on here, or final approach procedures. Pushing the approach button. Localizer is here. Approach is here. Make sure that both autopilots are engaged, bringing in the flaps, ILS capture, all of that stuff. So it doesn't really include what, in my mind, it should, which is, let's go ahead and roll that speed back there, which is, you know, flaps set, landing gear down and locked, speed brake armed, all that sort of thing. So anyway, so here we are swinging around here. Let's go ahead and activate this approach phase now. Hop up there, approach phase, confirm. And there we are, it's in the approach phase now. Fantastic. And we'll just keep swinging around here. I've got the speed brakes out at the moment. Just trying to slow us down a little bit since she seems to want to nosedive towards the ground lately. Let's go ahead and get that first setting of flaps in. I think we're slow enough for that, 230, right? Yep. There's the first setting of flaps coming in. That's going to help slow us down a little bit more as well. Go, looking good. Lots of clouds right now, that's for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and arm the localizer now. And as we swing around the corner here, it should pick that up just fine. Other than that, I have nothing useful to say. Waiting for that localizer to turn green, I believe it is, with a little box around it. More drag. Okay, more drag coming in. Still hasn't quite locked onto the localizer. There it is. Nope, still hasn't locked onto it. That's the speed. Next setting of flaps coming in. It's going to help with the drag there just fine. And now we can start bringing that speed brake out. And there's the localizer locked on. So let's go ahead and press the approach switch. We'll be watching for that. Let's arm the spoilers. There we go, armed. Is that an airplane in front of us? It is. Look at this guy. Now there is a way to just clear them out, but I'm just gonna like super slow down here. And it looks like we've already grabbed the localizer, so flaps coming in. Flaps to full. Arm the speed brake again.
Gear down.
I have no idea where he's going. Alright, let's take care of our landing checklist. Actually, real quick here before I forget, what is our go-round altitude? It is 6,000 feet. Let's throw that in there. Can't see anything yet anyway, so put the other autopilot on in case we need the aircraft to land itself since we can't see. And I'm not going around for this guy, so I'm really hoping he's... I don't know what he's doing. He didn't show up on here though. That's kind of weird. I didn't see him on here at all. I wonder why that is. Interesting. I mean, we've got TCAS on, but anyway, okay, our landing checklist. Gear is down 3 green. Spoilers are armed. Flaps are full. Landing lights are on. We are good to go. Track IR coming on a little jump here. Maybe not. Really? My track IR does this sometimes, guys. So I'm going to close that out while we sit here and stare at the screen. Because this is, my track IR does this. It likes to cut out on P3D for no apparent reason. And then I have to, see, there you go. There's my track IR coming back on, and now it works like a champ. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Oh well. Okay, it looks like he's going a little bit faster now, so that's good. We're set up for an auto land if we need it. I don't think we will, but we can't see squat right now. So, I mean, we can see, but not well enough to land the aircraft. I don't know where the runway is, except that it's somewhere directly ahead of us, and we've got another airplane up there. But he's definitely going faster than we are. He's pulled ahead quite a bit. I have the labels turned off. I probably could have turned them on so that we could see how far he is. But I'm not gonna do a missed approach because of this idiot. That's the one thing I've always hated about AI traffic. Now there is like a hotkey or something like that. You can just clear them out. In fact, I might just do that. Let's see. Clear approaching aircraft. Control plus shift plus A.
1,000.
So if I go Control shift and A. Clearing airspace ahead of aircraft. So he should disappear here or something, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he's still there, so I don't interesting. That didn't work very well, did it? One more thing I want to try and do before we turn the thing off here. Can't we? Let's see. This is us here, right? Yeah. 44 suitable parkings. You know what? I'm going to do this after we land. I should have done it sooner. I didn't, and we need to take care of this. So let's go ahead and get the autopilot off now. There we go. We have control of the aircraft. Let's get that out of the way. Looking good.
500.
It likes to sort of go to the left a little, doesn't it? I mean, we did have a crosswind, so maybe that was why. We're a little bit high now. Right,
300.
he should be clear of the runway before we get to him. It should have cleared it off, but it didn't, obviously.
Glide slope.
Shut up. What are you talking about? I'm on glide slope.
Glide slope.
That's a load of
Glide
bull.
slope.
Shut up.
Glide slope.
Shut up.
Glide slope.
That's annoying.
150. 40. 30. 20. Retard 10.
I don't know what that landing rate was. It probably wasn't great, but he's obviously going to be in the way, so we can't pull off there. So we'll have to go to the next one. Thanks for that, buddy. Alright, let's get the tiller on. Well, it wasn't absolutely horrid. I don't know what the landing rate was. Let's check while we coast on down here. Minus 173. Not my finest, but boy, with this Airbus, you really got to kind of just plan it down, don't you? Alright, off of the runway we go. Flaps coming up here. Alright. Bring her to a nice easy stop here real quick so we can take care of this after landing checklist. Shrink that down because it's in my way. Boy, she really wants to go. I'm trying to be easy on the brakes here. Okay, flaps are coming up, spoilers. I don't know why they do that. There we go. Alright, flaps coming up, spoilers. Let's get the landing lights off. Retracted those. Those can come off for now. Strobe can go off. Taxi lights go to taxi. Yeah, taxi mode. There we go. Start the APU. Fantastic. Tracker coming off for a second here. Let me pop up my checklist since I don't have a hard copy of it. And after landing, ground spoilers are disarmed. Flaps are in fully retracted. Engine mode selectors. Come on. There we go. That one goes there. Landing lights are off and retracted. Anti-ice as required. APU has been started. So, after landing checklist then. Spoilers disarmed. Flaps retracted. Engine mode selector normal. Radar is off. APU as required. Tracker coming back on. Big jump. There we go. And what do you say we taxi in? It's just starting to get a little dark out here. I wonder where he's at. Oh, I don't know where he went, but we're going to circle back this way. We got a little plane. Oh, there he is. He's right there. Where's the... I'm going to have to pull up my chart over here for the airport. Let's go straight here until I figure out where I'm at. We landed on 2H. Oh, yeah, we got to go up over here. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and taxi this bad boy in. Maybe throw a little cinematic in there just because I like it so much. And we will see you guys once we're parked and ready to shut down. Alright, as you can see, guys, we got us a parking space here, and it looks like I managed to park almost perfectly, which is fantastic. I did consider showing that on my way in. It looks like it's still moving a little bit, but anyway, APU is on, so let's go ahead and get those engines off because that's what they're waiting on. There we go, fantastic. Engines are off. Let's go ahead and pop up our GSX here real quick, and let's request deboarding. And of course they're going to be waiting on a couple of things from us, including opening doors. So let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. Let's open both of these and forward and bulk cargo. And I think that'll take care of everything that they need. And now let's, let me just pop this up over here and let's take a look at our shutdown checklist. Or our parking checklist, if you will. Parking brake is set. Let's double check that here real quick. I used the control period function, so I want to make sure that was good. Ground contact is established. There's the offloading beginning now. Electrical power, we can turn on the ground power units. Let's go and do that. External power is available. Fantastic. And seatbelt signs. Oh, we should have turned those off because everybody's got up anyway. They're like, I don't care. Do what I want. Do what I want. There we go. All right, what else we got here? Engine master 1 and 2 are both off. Seatbelt signs are off. Slide disarming doors open. That's taken care of. Beacon can go off at this point. There we go. Beacon, wing lights can come off as well. What else? Parking brakes will stay on for now. It says you can take them off, but I'm going to leave them on. APU bleed, it says as required. Fuel pumps all off. So if you hop up top here, fuel pumps. Those can go off. Those can go off. And center pumps can go off as well. And I think that's pretty much going to sum it up. We're on the ground power, so we can go ahead and turn the APU off. Turn the master switch off there. Turn off the ADIRS, IRS, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. Boy, we cut it a little close on the fuel there, didn't we? And that's pretty much it, folks. The only other thing we'd actually do here is turn off the ground power, and there's no need for us to do that. So That's going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Another flight by request done just for you guys. If you want to put in a flight request of your own, if you're not a member of Mac Air, the only exception that I make for that is if you can't be a member of Mac Air. So if you're underage, like the example in this case, Vuk was underage, so he can't be a member of Mac Air. That's not his fault. So we had somebody put in the flight request for him. It's not that I don't want to do it for you guys on the channel. It really just has to do a little bit with promoting the virtual airline, right? So, you know, we started Mac Air. We want to encourage people to go over and join Mac Air, and so that's kind of why I'm doing it. It's not really doing it to be a jerk and say, oh, you're not good enough or anything like that. So I hope that nobody takes it that way. In the future, I will definitely be considering flight requests via YouTube comment section, so don't think that I'm just going to never do that. I will eventually, but for right now, I'd like to stick with doing flight requests through the Mac Air forum. So if you're not a member, please go on over and sign up. Make sure that you read the Pilot Operating Handbook before you join the forums or anything, because there's certain naming convention and stuff you're supposed to use and so on. Anyway, enough about that. Great flight. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys did too. If you haven't already done so, take the opportunity and smash that subscribe button. It literally takes you like half a second, and if you click on the little bell thingy, it'll give you notifications every time I upload a video. I can't seem to talk for some reason. So definitely want to jump on that. Look, they're not offloading cargo off the back either. That's kind of weird. Anyway, give the video a thumbs up down below. Leave some comments down in the comments section. If you have criticism, be constructive about it. Don't be a jerk and say, oh, you just suck, because I'll just delete your comment. That's annoying. And what else? Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitch at CaptainMac3588. And I will just give you a little preview here. Mid-January, I'm going to have a little vacation time, and we will absolutely be doing some live streams, including one where I'm going to have to sleep through part of the live stream because I'm thinking about doing a really long flight. More to come later. That's your preview, if you will, so make sure you follow us over on Twitch. That's going to wrap it up for this one, folks. As always, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all, and have a fantastic day.